Welcome to a hell of a week. My name is Quinn Emmett, and this is Important Not Important. These are the audio versions of my essays. You can hit subscribe right now to get these essays and my conversations with the world's smartest people, almost 200 of them every single week. You can find the email version and links to everything we make at importantnotimportant.com or in your show notes. Oh, you can also now take action 3 clicks or less on the causes you really give a shit about. You have the resources to contribute to, the time to contribute to, the skills to contribute to with our new site, whatcanido.earth. Let's get to this week's essay. It's short, it's timely. Let's go. Not for the first time, I wrote a different post this week, and then I deleted the whole thing. It was a grand summary mind map of the intersecting stakes we face over these next, at this point now the next week, and weeks and months and decades. Here's the issue with what I originally wrote. My first job is to write things that are useful to you. And while constantly poking at the weak spots in our humanity and our systems is obviously useful, I just don't think any of you who willingly signed up for our work really need a reminder of what's on the line here right now. Not this week, at least. Whether you come here for some single issue or a more generalist understanding of what the hell is going on and what you can do about it all, you are almost certainly among the most likely people in the world to actually use your vote, especially with stakes such as these: fascism, racism, sexism, abortion, immigration, maternal health, care of all kinds, paid leave, childhood hunger and poverty, clean energy, clean air, clean water, housing, affordable and accessible, healthy food, Gaza, Ukraine, Sudan, teacher pay, and so much more. Rehashing them at length for you and the rest of our very particular audience, however large now and invested, at this particular moment, it felt like a waste of both my time and yours. Was it compelling? Sure. Was it additive and useful? I don't think so. But I also deleted it for another reason that's a little more personal. Writing it, putting it all into writing with my bare hands, adding it all up, it took me to a pretty dark place. I felt awful, overcome by the aggregation of it all. Shortly after finishing the first draft, I rushed out of the office to pick up one of my kids from an after-school activity. And within seconds of climbing to the car, he quietly asked, "Are you mad at me?" Now, I will always write about the hard decisions and obstacles we face, and I will always try to help you understand how we can surmount these too, like all the others we have in the past and in the future. But I also equally resolved a very long time ago not to bring this work home to my kids. Not like that, at least. They know what I do. They're proud of what I do. They care about what I do. But in that moment, his question made clear that this was a pool I could not swim in without real danger, especially without collateral damage. So I quickly reassured him that no, I was not mad at him, that I was sorry if I had given him that impression, that I'd had a hard day at work, and that seeing him, as always, washed it all away. You know the stakes. You also know, better than any group, frankly, on this one habitable planet, what we are fucking capable of. You know that all you can do is all you can do, that you can only control what you can actually control, but that you must exercise that control, that power, as much as you possibly can and as often as you possibly can for as many other people as you possibly can. And when each of us do that, we get what I call compound action. As Pennsylvania State Rep Jordan Harris said recently, we get the democracy we work for. You can't control how this election ends yourself. You can't control millions of other votes, especially those already cast or lost to the other side. But you can get your own vote out of the way if you haven't already. And if you haven't, you can resolve to bring at least one friend with you. Now, you hear that kind of shit all the time. You hear about spend every available moment using the tools we endorse to get out the vote until it's done. But I have a little math for you, and I was excited and proud of this, and it's why I ended up writing this instead. So if you take nothing else from this essay, understand this. And it's not apples to apples, but think about it. Trump won the 2016 election thanks to just under 80,000 combined votes in Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Biden won the 2020 election in large part due to just 44,000 votes in Georgia, Arizona, and Wisconsin. There are, at minimum, 43,000 of you that will read this post in the email and a lot more that will listen to it. Most of you are in the U.S. Alone, 43,000 of you can help power the forces of good to victory. Essential state and local races are decided by even less, by hundreds, even tens of votes. But if each of you brings just one friend to vote with you, personally guaranteeing their vote exists at all, your power, our power, is doubled. That's 86,000 votes. 86,000 votes from our community. Fuck. Spread across this great country. This idea of what we can be if we just keep on fucking pushing and using our power. But only if each of you commit to it. If you commit to act as if your decision to not only vote, but to guarantee one additional vote has a moral consequence. Act as if your actions have a moral consequence. So I would like to ask you to raise the stakes with me, our stakes. Consider your personal commitment, your I voted sticker, instead as a pact with the rest of us. Hold up your end of the deal because we're all relying on you in this pact. We cannot get to 43,000, much less 86,000 without you and your friend. And if you do one better, if you text or call or knock on doors with our pals at the Environmental Voter Project or Swing Left or Lead Local or the League of Conservation Voters or whatever, if each of you convince just one additional stranger to vote and to vote for good, that's still going to be close. But seeing those numbers, man, putting them into context, I haven't put everything I have into this work to not use it to tip the scales of history. It's the entire fucking point. It's the point of these essays, of Willow's free newsletter, of the new app, of writing about starfish and the long defeat and that one important question, all the 200 podcast conversations, all of it. It's to tip the scales while I'm still here. This week was my 14th wedding anniversary, and sometime in those 14 years, a while ago, I realized that living a life of service to my wife and children was the very best life I could hope for in my one quick trip to this wonderful planet. Sure, I do all this stuff, but my job is to show up for her and them every day. That's the job. My other job is to show up for you. So that other essay didn't accomplish that, and it kept me from showing up for them. So I deleted it. Even if you personally have very little on the line in this election, voting, exercising your power and extending it along with everyone else here to 86,000 votes, enough to maybe just tip the scales. That's what Shirley Chisholm was talking about when she said, service is the rent we pay for the privilege of living on this earth. Service. You're here. You ask, what can I do? It's service. You are part of this once-in-a-lifetime community for a reason. You give a shit for a reason. Something keeps you up at night. And you're not alone. I was up half the night last night. So take this mantra from my new friend, Dr. Elizabeth Selwyn, with you on your way to vote with your friend. How can the solution to whatever keeps me awake at night also be the solution to what keeps someone else awake at night? That's it. You can get the email version. Read it online at importantnotimportant.com. If you've ever asked, what can I do? This is the week to do it. We really appreciate everything. Yeah, we'll see you on the other side. Let's do this.